Hey guys, this is Anurag and we'll be discussing the strategy video for CBSE Class 11 Physics. So before we begin, I'll let you know about myself. I'm a graduate from BIT Mishra and I have scored 99.92 percentile in the entrance exams. So you'll be for sure in safe hands. Let's begin. So what should be the student strategy? Well, revise what has been done in the previous lectures. Next, take notes. Making notes during the lecture is an important task. This would help you tremendously. Don't just listen to the video, write each and every thing. Keep your pen and paper ready. Next, pause the video according to your speed and comprehension. Please remember it's not a race, you need to understand the topic, get the gist of it, so that once you move on to the next topic, you're better armed. Next, draw the graphs and diagrams clearly for any given problem. This would help you in visualizing the problem and broaden your view such that it can be solved in a faster manner. Next, by far the most important aspect, that is, try to solve before I solve or at least give a real shot at the question. This will broaden your view and perspective and will help you in honing your skills to master this particular topic. Next, follow the courses regularly. I've devised the entire course in such a way such that it covers each and every topic in intricate details. Next, practice the questions. The more you practice, the better you get to command this particular topic. Next, we'll have important features of my lectures. Well, I have more than one approach to solve any given question so that even if you're stuck with one approach, you can at least apply the second approach and get to the desired result when you're stuck. Well, I have the entire plan laid out in such a way that I'll be discussing each and every topic with intricate details and also be covering all types of questions ranging from easy, medium, difficult to super difficult. Also, I'll be discussing the last 20 years question problems such that no topic is left out, no question pattern is left out, and we are better prepared to command this particular topic. Next, I'll make the topic so interesting and entertaining that you won't feel that physics is part of an academia. So let's discuss the course structure. So under the unit, we have different units, we have different topics, the usual number of periods that are required to complete a topic, and then the marks distribution. You can see the maximum marks is 70. So under the unit 1, we have two chapters, physical world and units and measurements. Under the unit 2, again kinematics, we have two chapters, motion in a straight line and motion in a plane. Under unit 3, we have laws of motion. So all these three units consist of 20 marks. Next, under unit 4, work, energy and power, we have unit 5, a system of particles and rotational motion. Under chapter 6, we have gravitation. These three units consist of 17 marks. Next, under unit 7, under properties of bulk and matter, we have mechanical properties of solids, we have mechanical properties of fluids and thermal properties of matter. Next, we have unit 8 as thermodynamics. And then under unit 9, we have kinetic theory, which governs behavior of perfect gases and kinetic theory of gases. These three units consist of 16 marks. Next, we have unit 10 under mechanical waves and ray optics, under which we have two chapters, oscillations and waves and ray optics. So these different units together consist of 70 marks, and we can clearly see that the highest weightage is given under this topic. Well, next move on to the next slide. This is the entire question paper design. We'll be discussing the topology of questions, the very short answer, how many questions consist of and different marks. We'll be discussing the short answer questions, consisting of 2 marks and how many questions are. We'll be having short answer questions which are tough type 2 of 3 marks and long answer question of 5 marks. We'll also be discussing the percentage weightage of different questions. So under the topology of questions, we need to look at the remembering section, such as a simple recall questions which are based on specific facts and terms. So under this, we'll be having two questions of 1 marks, one question of 2 marks, one question of 3 marks. So in total, we'll be having 7 marks, which consists of 10% of the total marks. Next, under understanding comprehension, that is meaning and conceptual based question, we need to compare, contrast, and paraphrase the information. We have 2 questions of 2 marks, we have 4 questions of 3 marks, and 1 question of 5 marks, consisting total of 21 marks. Well, we can clearly see the weightage is almost 3 times. Next, we have application based questions in which abstract information is used to apply knowledge in new situations. We have 2 questions of 2 marks, 4 questions of 3 marks, and 1 question of 5 marks. The total marks consist of 21, and then the percentage weightage is 30%. Next, we have higher order thinking skills. It is used to classify, compare, and differentiate between the different places of information. We have 2 questions of 1 marks, 1 question of 3 marks, and 1 question of 5 marks. The total marks consist of 10, and we have a percentage weightage of 14. Next, we have evaluation based questions, under which we have 1 question of 1 mark, 2 questions of 2 marks, 2 questions of 3 marks, and consisting total of 11 marks. The percentage weightage is 16. So we can clearly see that understanding and application together consist of 60%. That is, if we ace these 2 particular topics, we are good to go with at least 60% of the marks. If you add these 2 particular topology of questions, we can easily get 90% weightage in the given set of questions. Next, the question wise breakup. Well, as we discussed, the very short answers, we have 1 marks. The very short answers consist of 1 marks. We have total of 5 questions. The short answers have 2 marks per questions, and we have total 7 number of questions. The short answer type 2, we have 3 marks per question, and we have 12 number of questions. Clearly the highest weightage. It is almost, it's more than half of the total marks. And then we have long answers, which is under which we have 5 marks per question, and we have 3 questions under this category. We have total marks as 15, and so the total number of questions are 27, and the total number of marks are 70. Clearly short answer type 2 consists of more than half of the total marks. This is a sample set. Usually things can go above a bit here and there. However, the template would remain the same. Next, we'll be discussing the strategy video for CBSE Class 11 Maths. So let's do this. So what should be the usual student strategy? Well, the very first aspect is revise what has been done in the previous lectures. You need to come prepared and with enough practice that has been discussed in the previous lectures. Next, take notes. Take as much notes as possible. This would help you tremendously during your entire journey of CBSE Class 11 Maths and other competitive exams. Well, don't just listen to the video. You need to write each and everything so that you understand, and keep your pen and paper ready before you begin the lectures. Next, pause the video according to speed and comprehension. Please remember, it's not a race. You need to understand each and every topic before you move on to the next coming set. Next, draw graphs and diagrams clearly wherever applicable. This would help you in understanding the problems in a way such that you can come to the solutions in a faster manner. Next, by far the most important aspect, that is try to solve before I solve, or at least give a real shot at the question. This would help you tremendously in the entire journey in mastering this particular topic. I cannot stress enough if you start doing this. Next, follow the courses regularly. I have the entire well laid out plan to help you overcome and succeed this topic. Next, practice the questions as much as possible. The more you practice, the better you'll get, because maths is won not by mugging or remembering formulas, but maths is won by acing and practicing the questions. Next, well, so these are the important features of my lectures. I'll be discussing different questions with more than one approach, such that you're equipped with different approaches to solve any question. Also, if you're stuck at some instant, you can use a different approach to come to the solution faster. I have a well laid out plan, and I'll be discussing each and every topic in elaborate discussions. And then we have all the type of questions covered, ranging from easy, medium, difficult to super difficult. Next, we'll be having more than last 20 years problems. We'll be discussing more than last 20 years problems, such that you are aware of what usually comes in the question and what you should be preparing for. This would help you tremendously, so that no problem is new, and it would open your mind to approach any unknown problem when you'll be facing in CBC exams. Next, I'll be making topics so interesting and entertaining, such that you won't ever feel that maths is part of an academia. Next, well, this is the course structure. We have the units, we have the usual number of periods that are required, and the marks distribution. Well, the very first unit is sets and functions. It consists of 29 marks. The next unit is algebra. It consists of 37 marks. Next, we have coordinate geometry. We have 13 marks under this section. Next, we have calculus. We have 6 marks under this section. And then we have mathematical reasoning. We have 3 marks under this section. And statistics and probability, we have 12 marks under this section. We can clearly see that algebra is amongst the highest weightage when it comes to marks distribution. Next, this is the question paper design. This is the topology of questions. We have very short answers, long answers, and long answers part 2, and then the weightage of each of the different questions. Well, under the remembering section, in which these are basic knowledge based simple recall questions based on certain facts, terms, and concepts. We have 2 questions consisting of 1 marks, we have 3 questions consisting of 4 marks, and we have 1 question consisting of 6 marks. The total marks is 20 and the weightage is 20%. The next topology is understanding. It ranges from comprehension to be familiar with the meanings, under which we have 2 questions of 1 marks, we have 2 questions of 4 marks, and another 2 questions of 6 marks. We have total marks under this understanding section is 22. We have 22% weightage, and then we have applications. By far one of the most important topology, under which abstract information in concrete situations are used to apply the knowledge. We have 1 question of 1 marks, we have 4 questions of 4 marks, and 2 questions of 6 marks. The total marks is 29 and the weightage is 29%. And then we have higher order thinking skills, under which we have analysis and synthesis. We need to compare, contrast, and differentiate between the different pieces of information. We have 1 question of 1 marks, 2 questions of 4 marks, and 1 question of another 6 marks. The total consisting of 15 marks, and then we have 15% weightage. Next, we have evaluation, under which we have value based questions. It can range from 1 plus 1 of 4 marks, and then another 1 question of 6 marks. Total marks is 14 and the percentage weightage is 14%. Clearly we can see that the highest weightage is given on the application based questions. If we add application based questions and understanding, we can clearly get 51% of the total weightage. Add another remembering based questions, which are simple based questions, and clearly you can score 71% of the entire weightage. Next, So this is the question wise breakup. We have very short answers. It consists of 1 marks and we have total 6 questions. We have long answers part 1. We have 4 marks per question and we have 13 questions. We can clearly see this consists of more than half of the total marks. And then we have long answers part 2. We have 6 marks per question and we have 7 questions. The total marks consist of 42. So we have 26 questions, total marks is 100, and this entirety long answers part 1 consists of more than half of the total marks. So this is the usual template that has been utilized in CBSE Class 11 Maths. A couple of things may change here and there, but overall it would remain the same. Next. So this is the ever applicable tips to maximize the scores. Do remember that these are not the last minute resorts to maximize the scores. You need to apply them at every instant and junction while you're studying so that you can maximize the chances of scoring 90%. The first is take notes of important formulas. Formulas are important because this would help you in moving through simple topics and gain an edge towards the tougher sections. Do a regular practice of numericals. I cannot emphasize it enough. The more you practice on numericals, the better you will get because you'll have an idea of how tough questions are created. Next, ensure that every doubt is cleared, even if it's the dumbest. Don't worry how trivial you think the doubt is. Please ensure that your every doubt is cleared, even if you think it's the dumbest, because you will be gaining maximum once that doubt is cleared. Next, have a planned timetable. Make sure you create a timetable when to study, what to study, and what sections you want to complete in that timetable. Next, do not follow and solve more number of books. Please do not. Doing so only creates chaos. Rather, choose an authentic and credible book and solve it thoroughly. Solve them multiple times to gain the insight because it would broaden your thinking capacity and sharpen your arsenal. Also, start from a basic book level which you feel is of your level and eventually go on for a higher level. Do not compare your journey from others. Everyone has a different comprehension power and everyone has a different skill sets, and the moment you start from a basic book level you can eventually shoot the stars. Also, make sure that you regulate the study hours. CBSE Class 11 cannot be won if you study for 6 hours in a day and 1 hour in a different day. Make sure that you have your study hours regulated. Next, well, you can, and the course for CBSE will be run throughout the year. You can learn from us. We are the India's top CBSE educators. You can use the referral code as Anurag 10 on Unacademy Plus and get a discount while you're enrolling for the CBSE courses. That's all from my side. Let's see how well. Let's begin the journey of acing CBSE Class 11.